Hey everyone, it's Ivan, KidBadger.com, out here for a first look at a pile of new stuff from Bravo Company, Nitehog, Stoger Pro Shop, Spiritus Systems, and Die Free Company. We'll go ahead and tackle this stuff largest to smallest, at least with respect to boxes. This right here, I believe, is by Die Free Company, and I think I know what it is, but we will absolutely find out together. All right, some more Kung Fu grips. They fairly recently, redid their packaging, and they actually now have different color molded Kung Fu grips. Looks like we got gray, green, tan, and black. And then they recently released these right here, which are the plug for the grips, which looks like, I'm guessing it holds either 2 AA's or maybe 2 CR123, probably a bunch of stuff. Check it out. But moving on from here to, I'm actually really excited about this right here from the Stoger Pro Shop. Man, first of all, if you want to get into competition, you could probably walk in there or order online, and starting with absolutely nothing, you could probably walk away with literally everything you need to compete as well as train. And so this I'm actually really excited about, because things I do not like to spend my life doing is pasting targets. And I first saw this, I was actually at an event with X-Ray Alpha with Surefire. Amazing event, probably create some content on it before too long. They had one of these and it literally blew my mind. I'm like, where's this been my entire life? So I had to go order one from Stoger Pro Shop. And it's a paster. You're like, but what does it do? It does exactly that. Like, it literally pastes. So you take these in on your target and you just go, think of like the old school like price tag machine, which nobody uses anymore. Kind of same concept, except uses pasties, and dude, saves so much time. I'm actually really excited about this. Next up, Spiritus Systems. Probably won't cut it with this knife, hopefully. Nice. So I have an old, I want to say, I think it's their Mark II chassis in multicam Alpine. Every time I wear it, people are like, hey, where can I get that? Or straight up, can I buy that from you? I'm like, no, because this thing's awesome. Multicam Alpine's probably my favorite pattern, especially living up in North Idaho, enjoy winters. And recently, Spiritus Systems came out with basically a whole big run of multicam Alpine, and essentially a full kit setup. I'm guessing it was probably an overrun for some sort of contract for whether it's our military or another military that does a lot of stuff in northern climates. And yeah, they basically have the full setup. So this being a first look, it's not a year from now after I put in a ton of time with this. You can probably go to their site and get this if this is something you're actually interested in, which I know a lot of people, at least a lot of people in my comment section, are interested in multicam Alpine setup. So right here we have, this looks like their Mark V chassis, 34 Alpha chest rig in Alpine. So I think this is a split front chest rig. Sweet. Right here are 2 of their tall GP pouches in Alpine. I think this is a fat strap right here. Fat strap Mark IV in Alpine. And then 2 of these guys, which are their Spud munitions pouch. And I think this is the back strap right here. Back strap. So I'm actually really excited. I'll be putting this stuff to some use, especially this coming winter. But I'll probably get this together and actually use it for doing a little shooting here in a minute. And next up, we have this right here from Nitehog, which I think I know what this is. Not 100% sure. Find out here in a second. Yay, styrofoam peanuts. Always wanted a box of them. Very cool. It's a thermal. So this is their Viper multifunctional thermal imaging. And as I understand it, if I can figure this box out, it's so hard. I believe you can use this unit to do a number of things, to include as basically a clip-on, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Dang, this is nice and small. Cool. So thermal imaging unit, and there's some other boxes in here. This might be, well, I have no idea. So we'll figure it out. Party supplies. Gummy worms. Actually, it's a lens cleaning kit. And nice. A battery charging station. I'm assuming there's probably some batteries in here. And then I think down here, I believe are some of the other, let's see, one piece adapter. Huh. Okay. So I believe you can actually have that and mount it straight onto your optic, which is actually pretty cool. That way you don't have to have like a riser mount or something like that. This one, again, looks like another adapter for a different sized optic. Yeah, larger optic. Man, this is really cool. I've used clip-ons in the past that basically rely on essentially a rail mount to put it in front of whatever your day optic is, which generally works, except sometimes like it honestly just doesn't line up necessarily the way you want it to. But, oh, perfect. Speaking of what I was just talking about, those you can basically, as I understand it, you can direct mount it to your optic. This right here is a flip to side mount. Probably that right there. Am I doing it wrong? Ah, I did it right. So basically a flip to side mount for that thermal unit, and right here a throw lever, so it'll go straight onto pick rail, so you can put it directly on a gun depending on the gun setup. This thing is going to be really cool. And lastly, we have this guy right here from Bravo Company, which, let's just appreciate this box. I don't know if it's UPS or not, but I feel like someone just took this and just like pile drove it into the pavement. Probably shouldn't have hurt whatever's inside here, but yeah, I don't know how you do that to this box, but they did it. So let's see. Inside we have all the things, some gunfighter rail panels, M-lock, nice, Mod 3 vert grip, CAG angled grip, nice. Actually, I'm excited to check this out. This is one of their new stocks right here, and all of the other accessories to include, it looks like QD sockets, sections of pick rail, again, M-lock compatible, a magazine, a lock should I decide I just don't want access to my gun, and all shiny and oily. This thing is awesome. So this actually has, for one, it has one of their new rails on here. I'm actually surprised how lightweight this thing is. So there's M-lock. It looks like there's basically a heat shield built in, which is actually really cool. And then up front, you actually, at 3, 6, and 9, you actually have pick rail for mounting things, which is where you're usually going to mount them, and all of the other goodness. Man, this thing is cool. So, time to do some shooting with this. On here also is a war comp. I have a number of things to include this can. Excited to shoot that. And I have this pretty sweet optics setup. This is actually from Leupold, and not only it is their 2-10 Mk5 HD, but also their offset Delta Point Pro, I want to say. So I'm going to go ahead and get this gun all set up and do some shooting on this Ruination Cold Start target behind me, and we will go from there. Also going to find a rag to probably wipe this thing down real quick. All right, I have this thing set up more or less for, well, how I'm gonna have it set up right now. Remove that thing in a second. But yeah, gonna try this bias back that way and see how it does. Need to make sure I have some mags loaded up and gonna give this Ruination Cold Start a go. Obviously this thing's not zeroed, but we'll see what we get. And yeah, probably do some stuff with this other stuff in a second too. Things I hate doing. Weaving pals webbing. But I did it. Finally got it done. Took me about 3 hours. Just kidding. Only took me 2 hours. But now I have my Winter Warfare Assault Kit all set up by Spiritus Systems. There's actually a lot of pretty cool, well, one, I'll need to eventually adjust some of these straps. Some are too long. Need to figure out how I want to adjust it. Also adjust it for the layers I'm going to be wearing it with. But some pretty cool stuff to include on the back of this. There's actually mag pouches. I'm going to use these spud pouches to hold my mags. Magazine 8, reload that I may or may not need. Probably will. This thing's not zeroed. But I have my Ruination Cold Start at 5 yards. So gonna give this thing a go and see what we get. Let's do it live. Dropped one. Dropped more than one. I got this. Living in my optic. Nailed it. Whew. Do I want to see it? 28.81. Not my best work, actually. So before I had that reload, it was 14.49 with my drop shots. Splits, 0.19, 0.19, 0.75, 0.19, 0.22. It was an adventure. I failed it. But I will now take this opportunity to go ahead and get this gun zeroed. I just turned this target around. I'll probably put just some point of aim. Right now, I'm ridiculously excited about this thing. Look at this. It's like magic. If you've ever been to a competition where you have to pace targets, terrible. This thing is incredible. But like I said, I'll find something, put a point of aim just as a reference, and go back, probably get this thing. This is already zeroed. I'm gonna get my rifle zeroed, probably at just like 50 yards for now. All right, I'm back at about 50 yards. Took my winter warfare chest rig off. No need to get it unnecessarily dirty. Go ahead and get a little zero.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Just remembered I had some shooting bags in my car, so I want to make this easier. All right, that should do. Initially I had some rounds down here and made some adjustments. Got those. And then up here, don't worry about those. That was actually me messing around with something. And then it was just kind of fine tuning with my last 3 rounds right in there. And truth be told, man, I love this thing. I'm actually going to zero that thing at 100 yards. So perfectly usable for what I'm about to do. Just a little more shooting really. So yeah, happy with that. Probably, maybe I'll shoot a little more on cardboard so I can use this more. Right now I'll do a little bit more shooting on paper before we move over to some steel. Paper's nice because it keeps you honest, which is real and humbling sometimes. All right, let's do this thing. Last shot, 21.28. Apparently I only picked up 3 of those. Like I said, paper will keep you honest. I was basically shooting high thoracic. So line burner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably a 6th one somewhere in there. Who knows? Maybe I just shanked it all the way off here. But I'll go ahead and shoot for the credit card. Again, paper will keep you honest. We'll see what I get. See if we can do better or worse with credit card shots. Not faster, 27.00. Fail, fail, fail. If I had to guess, those were probably shooting other strong side. And I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 50% accuracy. Oh well. Time to do some shooting with that thermal. All right, next up, how about shooting some thermal during the day? How will that work? I don't know. We'll see if it does or not. So right here, I put it on this mount. I will say this needs to be a little bit tighter, this flip to side mount. But ironically, I actually don't have a tool for it, even though I have pretty much every other tool in my fix-it stick set. So that'll have to wait. And power this thing on. I just threw batteries in this, turned it on a second ago, and I figured out how to, there we go, let's turn it on. I figured out how to go between black hot and white hot, but that's about it. And there's a huge menu with things I don't understand or want to learn right this second. Ipso facto, we're just gonna shoot this thing and do it live. Will I be able to see the target? Probably. Yeah, there it is. Because really at the end of the day, it's a heat differential, right? So steel target down there, definitely a different heat than backdrop. So yeah, gonna give this thing a go and see how it goes. Worst comes to worst is a flip to side, so I can just flip it to side and use the day optic. But let's try this. Ready, go in a second. Oh my gosh, sun in my eyes. There you are. So much sun. Man, that was my fastest run. It was not. 34.69, but that's really cool. Obviously, no point of impact shift, anything like that, because nothing was changed. Basically just looking through a little TV screen that is giving me the thermal. And let's see how this does higher. And it actually works really nice at it. Increased magnification too. I was running at the bottom end at 2 because not terribly far, but yeah, pretty cool. I'll do another run. I will say, shooting another strong side, sun in the eye, that is real, but let's do this. Oh boy. Come on. Damn you, sunshine. Oh, and it's off. Gonna have to work on that mount. Probably my bad. I don't think I tightened that part enough. And it's still a little loose. But we beat my last time, 32.45. So far, what are my thoughts? Honestly, all this stuff's pretty rad. I will say that paster, that thing is incredible. I just spent, I guess, like 3 days shooting at Red October, Kalashnikov Championship. Really wish I had one of those. Tapes so many targets. That thing's awesome. Huge time saver. And shooting paper, it's good because it doesn't lie, it'll keep you honest. As far as this setup, their Winter Warfare, I'm spacing on the name again. Basically this turnkey setup though, I'm liking it. I've never really done much with as far as like a split front chest rig type thing. And I can see how this would be really advantageous, especially winter. Idea being once you spend time out in the cold where there's very real consequences, really comes down to moisture management. So managing layers and stuff like that. And so being able to just undo the front, take this thing off, put on layers, take off layers, whatever it may be, throw this guy back on. Yeah. I'll have to figure out what kind of loadout I want as far as all this stuff. Probably just a bunch of candy in these side pouches, but we'll see. This guy, pretty cool. I will say, bad on me. It started to actually come loose when I was shooting other strong side, which is why I'm like, why am I having so much trouble? Didn't really put together until it actually fell off. Again, bad on me. I need to, 1, make sure this is on there correctly, and then 2, actually adjust that QD lever because there's it's a little bit loose, but who knows? With those different adapters. This might actually go directly onto the optic, which would be really cool, alleviate all that. This gun, it's really cool. This thing's rad. Their new Raider, I believe, yeah, Raider M13. I'm assuming this is 13-inch rail, 16-inch barrel. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it's like a heat shield built into it, which is wild. Never seen that before. And then, of course, you actually have pick rail up front for if you're going to mount something like that. But, of course, M-LOK everywhere else. And, yeah, I'm stoked on this gun. I get it. This is the SOCOM RC3 by Surefire. Flow through more or less like lower back pressure. But man, this thing shoots really soft. I'm kind of curious. I'm like, man, will this thing even cycle if I take this can off? I'm sure it will, but I haven't been paying too much attention. But in shooting it, I feel like it's probably about 3 o'clock ejection. So yeah, I'm sure with this can, I'll probably also shoot really soft. Thing's pretty rad though. And with all this stuff, and Die-Free Company, Die-Free Co., their grips and their new grip plug, I'll eventually put in time with that. Probably keep this guy on here for a while. Haven't really spent much time with these BCM grips. But when I get enough time with all of the things, I'll end up bringing you guys reviews on, respectively, all of the things. But so far, having a lot of fun out here with them. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.